I went down to the military parade, which was supposed to be the Army's 250th anniversary. It was really kind of like military propaganda, recruitment propaganda, and Trumpist quasi-fascism. And I went up to talk to every person I saw wearing a MAGA hat there, the red MAGA hats, to ask them, do you support a U.S. war for Israel on Iran? And I couldn't get any of them to answer in the affirmative or be enthusiastic about it. But many of them would said, well, we should just maybe we should just be, do a precision strike or whatever the president says is right. But none of them were into it. And most of them were deeply opposed to it. I mean, that's anecdotal, but we can look at polls. The YouGov Economist poll shows only 19% of the American public supports this, and it's consistent across all racial and party and lines. The only group that's slightly more supportive is older Republicans, but only by a small margin. And a Pew poll is consistent with the YouGov poll. So there's just nothing showing any support for it, but Trump's going ahead anyway. So we have to really ask who's in charge here. Is Netanyahu the president of the United States?
And it's a test for people who call themselves America first when the president is acting clearly like Israel first.
Yeah, it's MIGA. It's make Israel great again, except it's not making Israel great. And many Israelis uh, might support the war but are opposed to Netanyahu. Netanyahu is not particularly popular there. It's causing enormous damage to their society, as I said, economically, physically. And if Netanyahu had simply wanted to get the hostages out of Gaza, he could have made a deal months ago. Of course, I've been blaming Trump the whole time, but we need to consider that Kamala Harris declared Iran to be the number one threat to the United States and
Right.
wonder what she would have done in this situation. And if Biden and Blinken and Brett McGurk, the people who really controlled Biden's foreign policy, had pressured Netanyahu at all for a deal over Gaza, we first of all, we wouldn't be witnessing the horrific and satanic scenes out of Gaza where people are being slaughtered for a bag of flour. Gaza Health Ministry reports over 120 people were killed in the last 24 hours. But we also wouldn't be in this dynamic where the US is being pushed by Netanyahu to bomb Iran. It wouldn't be on the table at this point. So Netanyahu, he needed to keep the Gaza genocide going for a variety of reasons. Some of them pertaining to his own career, some pertaining to his own objectives there. But if he had not kept it going with Israeli troops constantly in combat inside Gaza, there wouldn't have been the momentum for an assault on Iran. And Biden let that take place. So the Democrats are responsible here. Chuck Schumer, the Democratic minority leader, the only statement he's made is to criticize Donald Trump about a week ago for attempting to, or a little more than a week ago, for attempting to make a side deal with Iran. In other words, for being too amenable to diplomacy. Chuck Schumer attacked Trump from the neocon right. And where are the Democrats right now? The only real strong opposition we're hearing about this has been from Marjorie Taylor Greene and the America First members of Congress. Finally, we're seeing some opposition with Tim Kaine introducing a war powers resolution. AOC has just announced that she will sign on. And it's Thomas Massie, the libertarian congressman from Kentucky, who's really pushing this in the House. But most of this is really coming from within America First. There haven't been many protests that I've seen yet. And it's time to really get active.